Except when I was like, I need a couple minutes.
I'm ready, except now. Give me a couple minutes.
Exactly. I've been ready all my life, except
When
for
will you
right
be
this minute.
ready? Later. When? Now, now. Now you're watching now. What were we watching then? We were watching then. But I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, hey, welcome to the final save cast. My voice is kind of shot. There's Joe. So
Yep.
Joe,
Hello.
do the rest. You know what we do.
Do I know what we do? I don't know what we do.
He doesn't know what we do. Okay.
No.
So this week we got some news. It's been a pretty light week, so probably like half-hour show, something like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if it does go longer, though.
Yeah.
We'll ramble on something.
And yeah, be sure. I'm gonna start doing this at the beginning. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Cell Processing. Follow Joe at, is it still Lemon Merchant or?
I think Lemon Merchant does still work, but also at Joe Shorten.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of you, of course, are already watching this on my Twitch, but make sure to follow him on Twitch too under Lemon Merchant.
Lemon Merchant.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he does streams. Yesterday he was doing Evoland.
Yes, Evoland 2.
Yeah, and with that, we'll just get into what we've been playing. So how's Evoland 2 going?
Ooh, it's good. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's one of those games. Well, if anybody's played the first one, basically the idea of Evoland is it kind of has like different it goes through like the generations of video games and whatnot, and like adds little like mechanics and stuff over time. Evoland In Evoland 1, it was kind of just like a weird gimmick, and it made the game fun. It was like very comedic about it, where the second was a lot more serious about it. It actually has a story built around all of this, and you actually have it's a time traveling mechanic. But when you go into the future, the more you go into the future, the more 3D like generations and stuff you get. When you go into the past, it's like 8-bit and 16-bit and stuff. It's kind of cool.
So instead of evolving, it's more like jumping around.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you travel through time in that. So yeah, it's a really cool mechanic. And this is something I've talked about before. With a lot of like indie games, I feel like they're more just like ripping off classic games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no offense, some of them are done really, really well. And with Evoland, it's more feels like paying tribute. It creates its own game, its own feel, and everything. But you can definitely tell the influences of the Zeldas and the Final Fantasies and stuff that we grew up on, but it does a lovely mix of everything to make it its own, which is fantastic about it.
To be politically correct, we like to say inspired by, not ripped off.
No, I'm saying ripped off.
Well, there's games out there that I think are a good evolution of games that have come out in the past. Like,
I
would say Axiom Verge is a good one. If it's a game that's like straight up ripping something off, I just tend not to play those, because you're right, they are just like, why would I play
there
that?
are a lot out there, yes.
It's like, I understand somebody had an EP out there to go play that, but
like another one that I played not that long ago that I felt was a very good tribute, but took a game style, made its own, was Freedom Planet.
Yeah.
Took that Sonic style, which aren't that many, kind of mixed it with a little bit of like a Rocket Knight feel to it a little bit too, but like gave it story, voice acting, and it had its own good feel to it. I liked it a lot. I recommend it.
We would see more from the indie scene is D-makes, like Retro City Rampage.
Yeah, D-makes would be kind of cool.
Yeah, D-makes
idea, yeah, make it retro.
But yeah. So is that all you've been pretty much playing this week? You've been busy?
Rocket League a little bit here and there, of course. I've been dominating in that. Trying to think, there was something else. No, not that. That's about it.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I played a little bit more of that.
Okay.
I'm slowly get through it, but
I have to sign into your account and play that.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah,
I like it.
So, yeah, this week I've been playing quite a few things. I played a little bit of Skyrim Remastered. Start off with that. So they didn't do a whole lot for PC gamers. If you've already played Skyrim with EMBs and stuff like that and texture mods, you've pretty much already got a better version what came out. If you're the type of person doesn't like to mess with that stuff, it's a cool upgrade. You probably got it for free if you got all the DLC.
Yeah, actually, I was messing with that earlier, and like I actually was comparing and contrasting between what I have already set up for Skyrim versus the special edition, and I went And there's a couple of little cool effects and stuff they have in Special Edition. I noticed like more fog effects and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I went back into mine, I'm like, oh, it just looks crisper, cleaner, more colorful. There's and I have so much other like mods going on graphically that I was just like, yeah, this looks so much better still.
Yeah. The nice thing is, though, it's using the Bethesda mod engine now, so people can publish your stuff. You can just go in there, click it, and it'll just add it. So it makes it even easier than, what is it, Nexus Mod Manager? So
yeah, Nexus Mod Manager. But there was Steam Workshop, which did a pretty good job. It was really easy.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about Steam Workshop. Yeah, they did a good job. Their mods were kind of limited.
Nexus, yeah. Like, also, my main thing, and I've talked to a couple people about this, once Sky UI, like, that's a big, huge deal on PC. And right now, as far as I know, at last I checked, it does not work on Special Edition yet, because they need to get into the code and everything for that one. And Sky UI is so wonderful, because that UI is actually a good UI for console games, for a controller. But for mouse and keyboard, it just seems so slow getting through that UI.
Yeah, it is the biggest thing lacking for Skyrim right now. I noticed like now there's like God rays through the trees, and stuff.
Which I think you were able to mod that before, but
yeah, I'm not sure. Most likely. And then it's mostly just like a lot of post-processing effects. Like the character models aren't any different or anything.
Oh yeah, they're all the same.
But yeah, I didn't been playing Titanfall 2. I did be a dumbass and pick it up. But I was hearing good things about it, so I was like, okay, they're saying it's running well, so I'll give it a shot. You know, typical PC, it's $40. I'll take the shot for it. So,
sounds good.
I've been really impressed with Titanfall 2. It's using the Source engine again, like modified again.
Yeah, I thought so.
Looks way better, runs way better. You remember like Titanfall 1, there was like frame dips every once in a while for like no reason.
Yeah, on occasion, yeah.
Yeah, it would just do that. This one's just like butter smooth 60 all the time.
Nice, good. I mean, all like the videos and everything I saw of it, I was just like, wow, that is smooth.
Yeah. Apparently 1080 60 doesn't require a whole lot. Like if you have a 1080, you can easily do it.
Right.
Even on like lower end cards, if you don't mind turning down like medium and stuff, you can still do 4K 60, which is pretty nuts. The gameplay so they did some interesting things. They added like a Call of Duty slide now, so they changed the map layout a little bit. So you remember like in Titanfall 1, the areas were like smaller, more condensed, and there were like alleyways for like the Titans and stuff to go through. There wasn't really an open map except for that one like colony area.
Yeah, it was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but like all the buildings were like clustered together, and there was like that one big open area in the back or whatever. So now there's like open areas all over, and the way that they do it is they kind of like, you have to figure out how to wall run, and the wall run in this one, I'm gonna say like does like the Black Ops wall run, because the Black Ops wall run's weird. It's like you'll go up to it and you'll be a little bit below the mark, and it just like pulls you up and sucks you in like you're a magnet or something. Okay. This is like you attach a lot easier than you did in previous Titanfalls to the wall, but it doesn't like suck you in or anything like that. When you wall run, you start building up speed like immediately. Like in the old Titanfall, if you weren't running and hitting speed, you wouldn't wall run very far. So this one is like, you could be going on there like half speed or something, and all of a sudden you'll just start accelerating. The other thing is, you can actually like wall run, hit the ground, hit the slide, keep your momentum up, and then wall run again to get around.
Nice.
There's other things there, like they introduced a grappling hook now. If you're good with the grappling hook, you can use it to help accelerate you up onto the wall. What I've been seeing a lot of people do is, like in the old Titanfall, you always had to wall run either from parallel to parallel or 90 degree. So in this one, if there's like a building and the corner goes inward, people have been using the grappling hook to swing around and then continue to wall run around, stuff like that.
Sweet.
But the grappling hook character is only one character.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, like the perk that they used to have, stems, is a character ability now.
Okay.
And it is way, way faster. It's like immediately like crank. It's like you're playing Quake 400
Wow.
times. It's stupid fast.
I mean, I always felt like Titanfall was a decently fast game too.
Oh yeah, like imagine Titanfall at that speed, but then just like cranked up to like 11. It's just when you hit the stem, it's stupid fast.
Jeez.
Like that stem ability, I've been able to like run like halfway across the map in like 3 seconds. It's so stupid quick. Same thing with the cloak ability. So all the abilities, there's different things. As far as new abilities now, the only other one I've used, or two I've used, there's a guy that throws like a disc out that creates like a ballistic shield,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy I used for like my rocket launcher because there's a grenader guns that you can use now as like your loadout.
Grenader.
Yeah, they're badass too. It's like it's so Star Warsy. It makes this noise. It just sounds like it should be like in the Phantom, or what was the one with the sound bombs or
Oh,
something like
Attack of the
that.
Clones, or it's just
Yeah,
like.
yeah. It makes a fucking distinctive noise like that. It's very cool
Hmm.
sounding.
Very nice.
There's another guy that throws like a dart out and it sends out like a sonar pulse or something, radar pulse that detects all the enemies in that area.
Nice. Very hot and so of them.
Yeah. Uh, there's more guns. All the guns have camo, like Call of Duty now. All the guns have different perks, loadouts, and stuff like that. So it's a lot more in depth than it was in the past.
Right.
The Titans are almost like Overwatch characters.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all based on ability. They're not like, you don't have like a fast, medium, and heavy like you did in the
Gotcha.
previous Titanfall. So now it's like your Ronin's kind of your fast, and he's got a sword.
Ah,
You've got an Ion that all of its Ion's laser, all of Ion's weapons are laser based, and he shoots like a laser out of his chest like Iron Man that destroys everything. My favorite's Tone. Tone's got the 40 millimeter gun from the previous Titanfall. Every 3 hits or 4 hits with Tone's gun locks on, and you can fire rockets at him.
mm-hmm.
And there's a few others. I can't remember what the other one is. North Star is like the sniper Titan, and North Star can actually like launch up in the air, rocket himself up in the air for a few seconds, so you can pick targets off.
Okay.
So they got some interesting, different abilities and Titans there. And then the maps, it doesn't seem like there's as many maps, but I'm not as concerned this time because the developers have gone out and said that there is no special season pass or anything like that. You buy the game and all the DLC and extra modes coming out are for free.
Okay.
So there's, once you buy the game, you've got it. They're not going to splinter the player base whatsoever. Most of the modes are the same, so they have like hard point, but now it's called amped hard point, and basically you can take, like once you take the point, then you can like charge it up and amp it, and it will take the enemy that much longer to discharge the point, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Attrition's still there. There's a free for all mode now that nobody's playing.
Of course.
There's Last Titan Standing from the last game.
Mhm.
They got rid of the Frontier mode, which was like the tower defense mode that was in Titanfall 1. But the new one that they added is called Bounty Hunt, and Bounty Hunt starts rounds with either like 2 areas on the map that will be marked A and B will start dropping CPU characters, and both teams of 5 have to go in and try to kill the characters. They get money for that. If you kill other characters, you get half of their money.
Okay.
And then between rounds, it'll also like drop what's called bounty, and they're AI controlled Titans that have a shit ton of health. And if you kill those, you get money for that, and that money is direct deposited into the bank. Any of the money you get for the grunts or the other pilots you carry with you, if you get shot, the money that you're carrying, you lose half, like I said. At the end of each round, you have to go to a bank point and download your money into the bank. So if you have like a shit ton of money, you're gonna sit there and go like you're sitting there waiting for the money to come down, hope nobody comes and shoots you in the back. So interesting game mode, lots of fun. I cannot speak highly enough of Titanfall. They did a fucking awesome job on the PC with it.
Nice. Good.
You remember how long it took to load into a map in Titanfall 1?
Oh, it would take forever.
Dude, it's so quick. It's like
Nice.
It's like I got it on a hard drive. It takes like 5 seconds max, not even that. It's just like quick load screen. It's done. So yeah.
Awesome. Have you played much of the single player yet?
Yes.
And
It's good.
I mean, that's okay. It's good.
It's good. So it reminds me of old Call of Duty and
Nice.
the fact that it's. Remember, old Call of Duty almost acted like a training for multiplayer. Like
Kind
when
of,
we start
yeah.
getting into like Modern Warfare and actually really starting back to Call of Duty 2. It was
Mm-hmm.
like all the abilities and stuff that you would learn in single player would carry over to multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically what this is. It's not a long campaign. It's like 6 hours, but it teaches you everything you need to know about the movement in the game, and how to get
Mm-hmm.
around, what the different abilities on the Titan is.
Mm-hmm.
The Titan that you play, BT, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you mostly interact with in the game, and is the biggest voice actor in the game,
Right.
is he's kind of weird that you can change like all the loadouts I was talking about, like Ion, Scorch, North Star, and all those guys. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually go into a screen and change his abilities on the fly to match those abilities that are in the multiplayer.
Sweet.
The banter between the robot and the pilot is pretty cool. There's actually in the game, believe it or not, what do they call it? When you choose what you want to say.
Like dialogue options?
Yeah, there's dialogue options in the game.
Nice.
Each mission has like a certain, like there's like pilot helmets floating around, so there's like these pilot helmets that you need to find and collect. And it's not like they're hard to find. They're like bright blue. It's more like they're using it in the game. They're like, okay, now figure out how to use your movement abilities to get from this point to that point to get the helmet.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. I don't want to say too much of spoiling it, but it gets into some. Mrs. Raw View, thank you for the host. Appreciate it. Guy screamed in my ear. There's the story gets into some pretty crazy territory that I did not think it was, and it had that very good thing that I think Call of Duty lost. I watched some people play the current one, Black Ops 3, last night, and I know that the big thing was co-op in it. But it was like, there's some parts of it I was watching. It was like watching people play Destiny. There was like no forward movement. They're just sitting there, pummeling on a thing and whatnot. And it's like, I get that there's some of that in this too. There are boss battles at the end of each level.
Okay.
But they don't like, they're not like real drawn out or anything. Like it's always, the story's moving forward, you're always moving forward in the thing. So it feels very much like a Modern Warfare 2 in that way. So, yeah, I really, really am enjoying my time with Titanfall. And if you guys have any inkling, I'm going to say right now, I have no inkling to pick up the new Call of Duty. I guarantee you it is not that as good as this fucking game. So,
Probably not.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to new Call of Duty, like, I'm curious, but it's not going to be worth $60 to me. If I somehow find it stupid cheap, like 20 or below, I might. But then again, I don't know. I haven't bought a Call of Duty.
I got to play the technical test on PS4, and I think I talked about this last week.
A little bit, yeah.
It felt more like Black Ops 3 with even worse maps.
Right.
Just the maps weren't laid out very well and whatnot. So, I don't know. We can't really judge it until it's out, but I'm not going to spend my money on it, especially the fact that there's a developer out there. It's like taking the time. Like, there's this like blog post that I'll show you guys real quick. Like here, they actually, this is back when they announced the PC specs. They actually took their time to go through and actually get like AMD cards, NVIDIA cards, and figure out what all the settings and stuff are. He goes into detail explaining that the ambient occlusion is HBAO plus and whatnot. And the funny thing is, it's like some things I found here like that are not listed, like anti-aliasing,
Right.
They're showing MSA, TSA. There's actually EQAA, which is like a niche AMD anti-aliasing technique that is. So there's like different abilities like enabling in here. They have like adaptive VSync on the cards. They have the AMD version dynamic VSync enabled in here. It's just like a shit ton of stuff. And then the other thing's cool is they're actually supporting 21:9 monitors.
Good.
Which is a very niche thing still in PC.
Right. Yeah, I know a lot of people get a little bit pissy when stuff doesn't support it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really like Titanfall 1. I absolutely love Titanfall 2. It fixed everything. Every problem there was. I hope the PC community sticks with this one.
What's the what's the auto aim pistol?
It is a perk, and I think it only shoots like 3 times.
Nice, good.
So it's pretty much gone. You rarely see it. I've probably played about
smart pistol.
Yeah, I probably played about 20 hours so far.
Good.
of
That's
Titanfall.
quite a bit. Yeah.
I've seen it once. So, yeah. All right. So, other than that, I haven't been playing a whole lot. As you can tell, I played some Overwatch.
Right.
Try to get those Halloween
A
skins.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are there Halloween skins this year for Rocket League?
There's a few like skulls and stuff like for your boost. I got that one. There's a ghost topper as well. So there's a couple little things here and there that I've noticed.
Mm.
I did play a little bit of Depth actually last night, which that game I still love that game, and it was kind of cute because they had Steve, the little robot guy, was actually looked like a little. He had like a ghost sheet over him, and he was carrying along a little like pumpkin basket with him.
I have to check that out now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But that game, I have a weird relationship with that game. I really like it, but sometimes you'll get people who play it a lot, and you'll just get wrecked, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
But when you actually have at least 4 people with you that you like playing with, it's really, really fun. But if you're just playing on your own and you don't play it that often, it gets really rough because one, they need to fix the sharks. I feel like they are not underpowered necessarily, but it's a little bit unfair because they have to kill the same amount of people as the people have to kill the sharks. But the sharks, it's harder to kill people.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need. I don't know. It bugs me a little bit, but
I don't know. Every once in a while, I run
game.
into people that are pretty good with the sharks in that game.
Some people are stupid good. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they're just really good at wiggling with their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get into some of the news here.
Yeah,
so talking about Titanfall, this is something that not the same thing, but kind of affected me last night. So EA, apparently the Origin service in Myanmar got banned because of sanctions the U.S. put against the government, and they started blocking IP addresses. One of those IP addresses Origin used. Mm-hmm. So games that people got in Myanmar off of Origin, effectively, they couldn't play them because
couldn't connect. Right?
Couldn't connect. This is a problem not related to this that I ran into last night. Apparently, Origin got attacked or something because it was down for 4 hours. I couldn't sign in at all. And even on a Titanfall Twitter, they said, like, I went to check on it when I went to go play, and it was like 4 hours old, and said, yeah, Origin's having problems with people signing in and stuff, so be patient, it'll get fixed. It took me at least another couple hours after that to be able to log on and start playing.
Wow.
And this is a problem with Origin that I have. If Origin doesn't ever detect an online signal, you can't even get into your game, even if it's single player. Just period. And that needs to get fixed. Like, at least on Steam, I think it's 30 days offline mode that it can handle before it has to have a login. And these days, that's easy enough. I've done that like in Grand Theft Auto and stuff too. You can just like get your phone, plug it in. That's what I should have done last night. Is get your phone, plug it in, tether it, and get it up and running. But Origin's had some weird issues. Apparently, Titanfall went launch, and it's an Origin side issue because I have both Wi-Fi and wired on my computer, so I had to shut Wi-Fi off for it to be able to log in.
That's
weird.
Something.
It's like the new Origin's getting better. It's not completely terrible, but God, guys, you just need to give up. Like, I hate this. Like, we're so greedy. You have to be signed into the internet all the time.
Right. Yeah. I thought it did have an offline mode, or maybe you can go offline, but you have to be able to sign in first or something, and you have to tell it to go into offline.
Which doesn't help the situation if you're used to being.
Yeah, I know. In that in that situation, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. So, I want to like Origin, but it's like I agree with the first comment in the Twitter post after that. It's like, well, you guys just put your games on fucking Steam.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I like it. I do like it. But yeah, it's not Steam. There's one or two little things here and there that I like better than Steam about it, but they're not major enough for me to say I like it more than Steam.
Yeah. It's like the ones that really drive me nuts. And I will say, like, when it is online, it is working. The online experience with signing on to servers and stuff like that is not bad. It's for the most part pretty on par with like Steam services or whatnot like that.
Right.
Uplay is kind of like half and half. It doesn't drive me as nuts because at least if you buy a game on Steam, it's coming off the Steam server and whatnot like that.
Right.
But it still drives me nuts because Ubisoft keeps on insisting on using their own online service and servers for games that you play on Steam, and it's just like, guys, you're not good at it. Just stop.
Yeah, just let it be on Steam. Just stop Uplay. At least in a way that bugs me more, because they still put their games on Steam, but yet you're still using Uplay at the same time. Where at least with EA, they had the balls to be like, no, this is our service. This is what you're going to use. And they're trying to do it all on their own, where Uplay is kind of like that weird half and half, and they just can't settle, and they're being douchebags about it.
Okay. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm like, a part of me, it's like, it's cool that everybody has these different services. Like GOG, I have no problem with GOG.
Yeah, I like GOG.
Like GOG, you download your game and that's it. You don't have to worry about a sign-in or anything.
Right, you're done.
Yeah. But I would like to see, and then now we got the Windows Store. It's just, there's too many fucking things to remember to log into and stuff. It's becoming a major hassle just to play games on PC because
I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's whatever. It's better than some of the alternatives or what it could mean. It's like, it's all just these storefronts or whatever that you just have at your fingertips. So it's not that big of a deal. But I see what you mean. It definitely can be a hassle, but basically what I do is I just pick the one that I focus on, but then I have my other games that if I want to play them, then I'll sign into that one. Like that's how it is with, at least right now, with Steam being like 90% of the games that come out.
Yeah.
So those are just kind of off to the side, and I'll check them out every once in a while.
Yeah. And by the way, after playing Titanfall, the voice chat on Origin sounds like shit. I've heard CB radios sound better than shit.
Yeah, I wish it was better. But then the thing is I used Steam voice chat recently, and they fixed it a little bit. It sounds better than it used to.
Yeah. They upped the bitrate or whatnot.
Something. It just, it doesn't sound like crap before. It's almost comparable to something like Discord or something. It's pretty close now.
So I would do a fancy transition in the next story, but I can't remember what I picked. So there we go. Oh, yeah. Actually, this is what you picked, Sonic.
Oh!
So I'm going to play this and mute the... there we go.
Yeah, so it's mostly just me, like, geeking out and getting super excited.
Is it said that you're getting more excited for the 2D Sonic than the 3D Sonic?
Well, one, we haven't seen much of the 3D Sonic enough yet, where they've been showing like full gameplay. Okay, so for this, like, the first time I saw it, I actually wasn't sure at first what I was looking at, because the way they are animating Knuckles and a lot of the characters, and I mostly noticed it with Knuckles, it looks like Knuckles Chaotix, like the frame rate and everything they're using for it. Oh, it looks fantastic. Like, they have those like extra frames of like when he like turns and stuff than what they did in like Sonic 3. They also added the scanline filter, which personally I don't like scanline filters. No. I hate them. It doesn't look bad, but I'm not a big fan of them.
I used to like them when emulators were new, and I was transitioning from that CRT to LCD thing. But as time went on and the resolution on it seems like as the resolution got higher on the LCD, the scanline filters got worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this one doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I'm just weird with that. I'm not a big fan of scanline filters ever. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you want to see a good CRT filter, go play Win the Game.
Win the Game
on Steam. It's actually free. And it's got one of the best CRT looking filters I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. But anyways,
what makes it so special? What makes it better?
It does not look like anything like it. Looks literally like you're looking at a old computer CRT. Okay. It's very very fucking convincing.
But yeah, I just also, this is a full original level from them too, the Mirage one. So it made me really happy to see like what new they're doing and like all the little add-ons. There's a part where they have like a little like spray thing that you pop on and like you can run across it and stuff. It's kind of cool. And there's that gun right there that they just showed. It looks awesome. It just shoots you across the level. Man, it is. It's getting me so super excited. This is like, it feels like a Sonic game that they released like 20 years ago that someone forgot about, and they're just re-releasing it. It was something that came out on the Saturn that we just
Yeah,
No
well,
one remembers.
see, this is what I feel about this whole thing and what I've been saying about Sonic for years. Sonic worked, its formula and the way it was set up, it worked specifically in 2D, okay? And
Hmm.
I'm not saying 3D can't work, and it has in the past in some
Yeah,
cases with Sonic.
there are some really good 3D
Yeah,
Sonics for sure.
but Nintendo really did the best job with their formula, like translating Mario
Hmm.
and like the Zelda and stuff to 3D from the 2D, and it still felt like it had the same mechanics and stuff, right? But Sonic,
Right.
for some reason, they had the hardest time, and I've been saying for years, like Sega was so obsessed with making Sonic, keeping Sonic what we would call AAA now, because back when this is out, there's really not such a thing as AAA. We didn't even know what the fuck that meant.
Right.
But I don't. I was always of the mind. There's not a problem releasing like on the PS2 a disc game that would have been like this,
Hmm.
in 2D, or nowadays releasing Sonic exclusively as like a $20-$30
Download. Yeah.
downloadable title. I don't have a problem with it, and I wish Sega would stop having a problem with that. And it
Hmm.
finally looks like I got my wish,
Yeah.
because I'd rather see 2D, because I know people out there can make good 2D Sonic style games. Like you
Hmm.
said, look at Freedom Planet.
Yeah. Freedom Plan's fantastic.
And I'm not like discounting 3D, but
Hmm.
we have yet, let's be honest, we have yet to see a Sonic game that is on the same level as the 2D Sonics in the 3D realm.
Yeah. I say I agree with that barely, but I do agree with you.
Yeah,
Um, I think the 3D is it's hard discussion because the 3D games they're different. They really are, except for like the generations and stuff. But they still haven't captured the 2D
yeah,
style quite there. They're close, but they're not
yeah,
quite. Um, and I think it has to do with I don't know. There's just something going from 2D to 3D, and I noticed this like in Evo Land. There's a weird, almost fast pacedness, but probably because of like the frame, like you don't have as much frames
hmm,
when you're doing the animations for sprites and stuff. So it feels a little bit faster, and there's just something about it. I don't know, like that it's really hard to capture in 3D that you
yeah,
do in 2D. But I mean, I love Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. They're fantastic games, but they're different for
yeah.
sure. Um, but they're still great 3D platformers for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, so getting excited for this. This looks pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah,
The layout of the levels really cool. I like the egg
there.
saucer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched was it the Studiopolis one or whatever, and they had
Hmm.
the little thing in the back. It was eggnog for Eggman. I thought that I'd laugh stupid for that. I'm like, oh man, I'm freaking 12 years old.
Yeah. Well, I'll still call him Dr. Robotnik because I personally think it's cooler, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, it is cooler.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Sonic Adventure, they that's where it actually came from, at least from us, and it was pretty much just Sonic started calling him Eggman
Yeah.
there as a joke, and then he just kept going with it.
And Sega has been doing an awesome job this past couple of years, not just supporting their new stuff, but their old stuff too, dude.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the Sega collection on PC, although
Oh, it's so good.
the only thing I can say bad about it, for some reason, it doesn't want to work through the Steam Link.
Huh. That's
It
weird.
acts like it gets slowed down and stuff like that. But other than that, man, that collection's so good. And
Hmm.
like all the ROM hacks and stuff that are on the Steam Workshop are so fun to watch and
Yes,
play
it's a great
with.
job.
And it's like Sega's been killing it lately.
And no, good job on Sega. I mean, even with like their RTSs and like even their other things like Alien Isolation, technically them and stuff. Like they've
Yeah.
been doing such a good job
Hmm.
the last couple of years. I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of them. And they bought Atlas, which was a great move. And Persona 5 is looking to be fantastic. So
Yeah. It's like it seems like there's a lot of people out there for Sega that are like in this like big doom or gloom kind of mood, like, oh, Sega sucks, and it's like you need to pay attention to what Nintendo is doing. It's like, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, Sega. I think it was this past year or whatever. Actually, was it was either this year or the year before that. I can't remember which number it was, but they were one of the top publishers in the world. Like they made the most profit off of what they spent.
Yeah.
They're like they're doing they're figuring it out finally.
Yeah.
They're,
Well, it seems like what they're doing is they have games. I wouldn't necessarily always call them AAA, but
Right.
they're not spending exorbitant amounts of money like, say, EA is on Battlefield and shit to get
Right.
get it out and get it a profit. So yeah, good on them. I mean,
Yeah, they're kind of like they've kind of found their little niche, I think, in like that middle size publisher,
yeah,
and they're doing a good job at it.
yeah. All right, so next up, no. Oh yeah, this is the Carmack thing.
Oh yeah.
So you guys remember Carmack got sued by ZeniMax. ZeniMax a few years ago bought id, and now they own id. So technically, he was an employee at there. And I remember when he was first talking about VR before Oculus, and he remember him talking about Palmer Lucky and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Lucky Palmer.
Yeah, Lucky Palmer. I like the memes on the internet that make fun of the Democrats. No.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Anyways, Carmack had this like weird like ski mask rigged together cardboard. Do you remember that thing?
They were doing what, Doom 3 off of it?
Yeah, Doom 3 BFG edition, and he had a early like bastardized version of the Oculus, and it was like ridiculous. It was the most clobbered together junk I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so bad.
There's just wires everywhere.
There might be videos online of this, but
I'm sure they exist. Yeah, because I remember watching it on like YouTube.
God, that thing is and it was
ugly.
Yeah. So, anyways, he apparently, as we all know, he got interested in VR because of that, and he eventually left id to go and work for Oculus, which is now part of Facebook. I can't remember when this happened. Was this after the Facebook transaction that Bethesda started? I think it was.
It was after.
Yeah, it was after.
Well, let's just be honest here. Probably beforehand, ZeniMax probably would have been like, probably not even worth it to sue him or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they got bought by Facebook, and they're like,
yeah. So what their claim is that he was working on VR stuff on id's money and time before, and that stuff got carried over to Oculus when he left. Now, he made claim that he worked on his own time. It wasn't, whatever.
Yeah, which, to be honest, when that happened, I'm like, Carmack, I remember you doing VR videos for id. I'm like, I have a feeling that you didn't do it all on your own time.
It was weird. He froze for a second and he sped out, and
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But no, it was just, as we said, we saw videos of him doing VR under id. So, like, when he was saying, no, I did it all on my own time, I'm like, I remember seeing videos of you at id doing VR, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, so he's saying that he didn't do it on company time. Of course, they've got forensic people that worked on his old computer and found evidence on the hard drive. And they're not saying what it is, but they have to report to ZeniMax first, and I guess this will get entered into a lawsuit. And they're also making motions, and they've told Samsung they have 3 weeks to report what Oculus did on the Gear VR. The court's telling them they have to do that. So, I don't know. It sounds like this is on the losing side for Carmack, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is a genius, but it's one of those things where, like, when they first brought up that lawsuit, I'm like, yeah, I have a feeling he was working on it at id, because there were so many like interviews and stuff, and that seemed to be like that's what he would talk about every single time before he left the Oculus was VR.
Yeah. As much as I hate Facebook, I'd actually kind of love to see ZeniMax like hold like patents or something that they'd have to fucking pay for.
Well, that's because we don't like Facebook, so that'd be great.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious how that'll affect Valve with their VR too, like. Because, like, I don't know if Valve right now is licensing anything out from Oculus.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Like, it's such a different tracking method.
It is. I have a feeling there's probably not too much overlay there.
Because I imagine, like, anything that's dealing with, like, motion and gyros, you can't really do anything like. But I think that's, like, another company that deals with licensing of that. It's like...
Right.
I can't remember the name of it. It's, like, In Motion or something.
It is. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in motion.
I can't remember. I
Is it
remember
natural motion?
Natural Motion, I think, yeah. But I remember Sony got in a lawsuit over the 6-axis like years ago because of that. Or no, it wasn't because of that. It was because of the Rumble motors. There was another company that owns that, and yeah.
Right.
So this stuff always goes in a lawsuit, and it eventually goes away. Like in a couple years, we won't even care about this. Like Oculus, it won't ruin Oculus. It'll still be around. Carmack might be in some trouble.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
Right.
all right, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen between all that. I mean, maybe he did cover all his bases with it. I don't know, but we'll see.
I don't know. Hopefully, like, VR gets better, though.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, speaking of which, just kind of off topic, I've been hearing there's more reports of people with the PlayStation VR getting that weird thing in it, like that shimmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when they're standing still, it's going like this, like it's like zooming in and out by itself, just standing still, and it's causing people to get ill. But I guess there was an update for that last week, and
okay.
And
that seems like it's mostly it had to be something in the software.
Well, see, the funny thing is they had an update, and Jeff Gerstmann said, "So did it fix the problem?" He like asked it on Twitter, and the answer he got back is, "You would think it would have," but yeah. So, anyways, all right. So with Skyrim out this week, I know some of you guys have consoles. If you're on PS4, sorry, no mods for you. But if you have an Xbox,
not yet. Anyways,
Kotaku's got a pretty good article here. I'll put it in put the link down below, and here's like 20 patches that they recommend, and some of them are pretty cool. They're stuff that we've had on PC for a while, but the fact that you can get it on a console now is pretty goddamn cool. So I like this one here. Funny Followers by Train Wiz, and it's just like a stick man with the Thomas engine. Yeah. But
Train hits, man.
I'll probably be using some of these myself. I'm not a big, huge graphics whore. Joe knows this about me. So I never really got really heavy into Skyrim modding, and I honestly played Skyrim for about 2 hours and put it down, despite owning everything. Yeah. It's the same problem I have with Fallout. It's just like I have a hard time committing to that amount of game. It's really difficult for me. And a lot of times I only have 30 minutes to an hour sometimes to sit down, so I just play a lot of multiplayer games because they ask very little investment there.
Right. Yeah, I know the feeling.
But I think I'm going to finally sit down and play it, and I'll probably look at some of these mods and mess around with it. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should I go into my experience so far with Special Edition?
Sure.
So basically, I went into it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fire up Special Edition. I played it, and some stuff was, that's kind of cool. There's some fog effects and everything, and it looks nice. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna go back into mine and see how it looks with all my mods and everything, and install it. And right away, I'm like, yeah, this looks better.
Yeah. Well, you said this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So I understand that.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm just hoping we as we said, we get more access to the mods. The mods.
Jesus, you're not even in New York, and New York came out.
And I'm hoping that Nexus mods and all that stuff gets more up to date on that.
So let me tell you about my experience this week with Skyrim.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I went and got my hair cut this week.
Oh, really?
And and I had some time to kill.
Okay.
And there's a GameStop that looks like a Foot Locker right next door. And I don't know if they all look like that now. I
kind of do.
Do they? I don't know what they're doing with that floor. It's just like, it looks like a Foot Locker was in there, and then GameStop moved right in. That's what they did. Anyways.
So wait. It has a basketball floor or something?
Yeah.
What's the floor like? That's what it looks like?
Yeah, so originally when they opened it was just a carpet floor like any other GameStop. It's like the same carpet floor. They remodeled it a few years back, and it looks like the Foot Locker floor from back in the day. It's like, why?
I'm thinking about it. No, I don't know the last time. I can't remember the last time I was in a GameStop, but I don't remember having.
If I'm in there next time, I'll take a picture on my phone and post it on Twitter. It's the most odd looking fucking store. Anyways. I went in there, and mostly I was going in there because, I tend to get Neil games for like Christmas and birthdays and stuff, and I'm like trying to
Right,
get
right.
ideas, because I'm not a PlayStation person, so I don't know what they have on hand and what's on disc.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in there getting ideas, and I'm looking around, and there's like all these people in line in there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? What's so popular? All these people are picking up, and I'm listening to them. It's just like Skyrim, 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 Skyrim. So I was just like, and then the store guy comes up and he starts asking me all these questions, like, hey, you want to pre-order any games or anything? First of all, the first thing when I get in there, my hands are empty. All I have is a jacket on. It's like a loose jacket, nothing's on. Have any games to trade in? Fucker, do you see anything in my hands? No. So, anyways, he comes up, he's like, you want to pre-order games, does a Spio and all that. And he's like, Skyrim's out this week, and I'm like, gotta be like a dumbass. I'm like, oh yeah, I got that version for free on PC. It's cool. And he's like, well, Titanfall 2's out on console this week. I'm like, yeah, I got that too. It's cool. So he's like, oh, can I help you with anything? I'm like, I'm just getting gift ideas and stuff, just like looking around. I haven't been in your weird Foot Locker in place in a long time. I almost wanted to be like, it's nice that you got the shoe smell out. But anyways, so the guy's like, he's like trying to understand. He's like, just doing a spew, and I'm like, dude, I'm on PC. I'm cool. I'm here looking for family. And so like a couple other guys came up, and one guy was actually overheard, and he was curious, and we started getting a conversation, and I asked like two of them that were like together, you guys are picking up Skyrim. It's like, you never played it before? And they're like, oh no, we played it on PS3 or Xbox,
Right.
and it's like, I don't understand why they bought it twice. It's
okay. Actually, as I've said about it so far, I think actually for the consoles, it's good for the. I mean, for the special editions, because the Xbox 360, especially the PS3 version, didn't really run the best.
Yeah.
They were very choppy and whatnot. I think, especially the PS3. I remember watching it a few times and it looked like it was running at like 15 frames, if that. So I think going to the new consoles is going to help it out a lot, and for a lot of those people, maybe. And there's still a lot of people I'm sure haven't played it before, but even for those people, they love the game, but this will be a tremendous, better experience for them for sure.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. It seems odd to pay twice for a game, just being on PC for the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Nintendo fan, that's what you do all the time. So
no emulators. But yeah, so it was an interesting conversation. We talked about like the differences on PC and stuff, and I told them like straight up what they were looking for. It sounded like they just want to go home, pop their disc in and play. I'm like, yeah, PC's not for you. You don't want to put that kind of effort and stuff into it then. But it also brought back memories of when I worked at GameStop.
Oh boy.
and I started thinking about like, why do I hate GameStop so much? And part of it is because I used to be a manager there. Okay, like once in a blue moon. After I got out of the army, I managed a store, and the store I managed was actually an EB at first. And when they merged, a lot of things that carried over from EB, I got kind of like grandfathered in. But me and everybody else that were working in that store, we got higher wages, and that stuck when they merged. And they just basically tried to make our lives a living hell so we get out of there. Turns out, when I finally got out of the store, like a couple years later, I was making about $14.50 an hour, or something like that. The next guy replaced me as store manager was making like 10.
Oh.
Yeah, so and it's just like there's a bunch of things I get into, but like honestly, like GameStop, both the shopping and the working experience there is a huge reason why I got on PC, because I just got to the point like, fuck it, I'm just gonna download my games. I never want to go into one of those fucking stores again.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Now it's not that I don't like to go into like game stores, but when I was in that, I was living in Minnesota. There wasn't like there is here in Seattle, where there's like Pink Gorilla and stuff like that. Like other
all the other random ones.
There wasn't like a mom and pop anywhere. There's like one guy selling retro games in the mall, in like a kiosk in the middle of the mall or something. But other than that, there wasn't anything. But yeah, it always left a bad taste in my mouth. And even years later, like going in and getting gifts for Neil, I've had experiences in that store where I've had to sit there and wait on people that were on their break in the back smoking a cigarette for 20 minutes. There's nobody in the store. All they have to do is just come and check me out, and I'm sitting there just getting pissed off waiting for him to finally, for the princess in the back to feel like that she wants to come up and finally do her fucking job. So yeah, anyways, and like and honestly, it's like gotten to the point now where on Steam or something like that, I can literally download the game faster than I can get in the car and go down there and pick it up.
Oh yeah,
so it's
for
like
sure.
it's pretty much pointless.
Yeah, I think today I downloaded Skyrim. Like I was like, I'll do this and I'll go to the bathroom. I came back, it's already downloaded, it's done.
Yeah. But you know, if you guys feel this way, if you actually like going into like stores like GameStop, or if you have a personal story about GameStop, put it in the comments on the YouTube video, because I'd actually like to hear that. And like, maybe was that a decision why you're on PC or something? It was a huge fucking decision why I'm on PC now, like exclusively. Like,
yeah, I mean, there is a part of me there once in a while. I'm like, you know what? Let's go into a GameStop. Let's see what's going on. And normally, about every other time I do that, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go back into a GameStop.
yeah. So, anyways, it's interesting. I was thinking about that the other day. All right, for our last story here, Turtle Rock is finally done with Evolve. So they left a forum saying they were, they tried to buy it back when THQ went under. Couldn't get it, ended up getting picked up by 2K, Take-Two. And they were just felt like that they were lucky that they got to work on such a unique project and whatnot.
Right.
And, being the developers of Left 4 Dead, the original Left 4 Dead, and Evolve, which I still stand by that game. That game was awesome when it came out.
I loved it when it first came out, yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was really well balanced for what it was trying to do, which...
It really was.
It's sad to see it go. I know, like, Stage 2 is not what everybody wanted. It'll still, like they said, it'll still be around. Probably not for much more than a year or so, unless it gets gangbusters. But last time I played Stage 2, like, the community was back down again. Like, not to the point it was during the bot game version, but it's going steadily back down again. So
it's sad.
Happily, they're not closing the studio or anything. They're just moving on. So I'm pretty excited to see what they end up working on next. But it's kind of it's a bittersweet thing. It's kind of good to see that they're finally getting to cut away from Evolve and go do something else. I hope they do something just as inventive or creative again.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, they're definitely a great developer for sure.
Yeah.
Really taking that co-op online multiplayer game like that is their thing, and they're really good at it. I love playing Left 4 Dead with friends, and I love playing Evolve with you guys and everything. So it was always fun.
Yeah, except when Grant's the monster. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. Hope you're watching that.
Yeah. But shit. Yeah, so I guess we could close the book on Evolve.
I mean, it was a nice letter, them talking about, the thing within the industry. When you work on like a AAA game or whatever, these big budget games, most of the time, 99% of the time, the publisher's the one who owns it, and they loved it, but it's time they got to pass the torch, and let it go. So it was definitely an interesting letter. It was their baby, but they knew they had to let it go eventually.
Oh yeah, I forgot to look this article up, but I don't know. Did they close yet? Let me look it up.
For what?
God, now I can't think of the name of the developer. It's the guys that worked on Sleeping Dogs.
Oh,
New World or it's
right.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't remember, but they were. There's a rumor that they were closing or something.
Yeah, look it up on Steam. See what the developer name is. Oh, United Front. Okay. I want to see if they closed yet. There was a rumor last week that they're closing.
United Front Games. As of right now, it doesn't look like they've closed.
Okay. So just to let you guys know that there's a rumor they're getting ready to close. If that's true, Sleeping Dogs 2 is out the window. And that's a shame. That's another developer that's in hard times right now. I feel like they did some misdirections with Triad Wars. It was probably a stupid idea.
Yeah. They do have a new game, Smash and Grab?
Yeah, which apparently is very good. And it went on sale for a free weekend, but haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's free right now on Steam, weekend-wise.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'll keep my ear open, but I was hearing rumors last week that they're getting ready to close their doors. So,
Well, that's sad.
yeah.
I hope that's not true. But
The For me, the only good thing out of this is apparently Square Enix owns the rights to Sleeping Dogs, so they
it's
could
true.
do
So they
another one. So,
right,
just won't be them.
right.
But yeah,
I mean, yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. I mean, we could sit here all day naming developers that were really good developers that closed down.
it just sucks. It's like
It does.
during like 10, 15 years ago, it's like you had like your big huge budget games. You had these little one-offs that you could go in and buy, what we typically called second party a lot of times, which were games
Right.
being developed by third party for first party, which is something strange. There's not too many of that anymore. Can you think of any?
Well, actually, is that second party? I thought second party was like a developer that was partially owned by the publisher or something stupid. No, you're right. No, you're right. It was a third party doing something for a first party. You're right.
There's not too many of those anymore on consoles.
No, I know Insomniac does it a lot. They're like the only second party like developer I can think of.
Yeah.
Like big one at least.
Yeah. So nowadays it's just becoming AAA, third party stuff and first party, and that's kind of sad. It seems like, because the thing I liked about the back in the era was even on PC to a certain extent. Well, PC was always mostly just third party. There's not really a first party on PC, is there?
Well, yeah. Well, it's always been easier to publish stuff on PC, so you would really have to go through one of the big publishers.
I guess if we're being honest, on PC, there's not really such a thing as a third party or whatnot. There's basically like AAA and indie on PC.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah. It might not be like the traditional indie, like low budget, but it's because you could just publish it yourself, and I mean, technically, that's what Valve was doing for the longest time.
Yeah.
They were just publishing the games themselves instead of going through EA or something, even though that's who they went through for, console.
Yeah. But I'm getting sad because it seemed like there was like all these like good games that like other studios were working on for consoles, and it made these consoles really unique and whatnot and what they could offer and stuff. And it sounded like you got like onesies or twosies here, and it's mostly the same library,
Right.
back to back. And it's like, and I feel like they're not getting it anymore. Like, I understand that like HD's like made stuff so much more expensive, but I don't have a problem with somebody releasing a game like, I don't know, something like Psychonauts on a download only, which is getting released, of course, on download only or whatnot. Maybe Nintendo. I heard rumors that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be a Sony Switch or a Nintendo Switch exclusive.
Yeah, the rumor is that, I mean, it's still Ubisoft, but Nintendo's gonna do what they did with Bayonetta, and they were gonna front Ubisoft some of the money to get that out, and it would be on the Switch only, like the Bayonetta 2 was for the Wii U, which is a good game. I've played that a little bit. I've been meaning to play more, but it's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're just in this kind of like where I'm feeling like with a lot of this stuff, it's like, meh. Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's sorry. It's sad that second party has gone away, and a lot of these smaller studios are getting dissolved, and
they either get dissolved or they get picked up. They get bought out or something.
Or if you're EA, they get picked up and then dissolved.
Yeah, I mean, EA hasn't done that for a little while. I think Pandemic was the last one. That was like 10 years ago now.
Which is sad because their last game was so fucking good.
Oh, the Saboteur was great. It was a little, like, I love that game. I love it a lot. It's very, very good. But it was a little bit janky here and there.
Oh, dude. Artistically, though, that game, I love the idea of it was a black and white until you liberated an area. That was so fucking cool.
Color. Yeah, that's cool. And, like, the transition, everything.
Yeah.
It was very Sin City of them at that time. That was kind of the thing going around. Black and white with a little bit of color.
Yeah. So I feel like we've been ranting and talking for.
Oh, I told you, man. That was gonna happen.
Yeah, I like
this
kind of looser.
One little thing, and you guys can check out on. I think Polygon have confirmed. I forgot to say this because I saw it like right before we started doing this. Was the Switch will have a touchscreen. So
you can't see what I'm doing right now.
Are you flicking me off?
Yeah.
Told you.
No, actually, last week I heard that there's even a supposedly on the right Joy-Con there's a IR emitter, like the Wii remote and I guess that might be the way that they get around it on TV.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, yeah. So apparently, yeah, it does. I hate touchscreens. I hate touchscreens with passion.
I know you do, and I kind of do too, but a lot of people do like them, and I knew there's no way they were going to drop touchscreen support.
Okay, is this a family problem or just a problem with me? But every touchscreen I've ever had in my entire life, I've hit buttons on it, and it activates the thing all the way across the other end of the fucking screen.
I've had that happen before, probably not as often as you have, but don't hit it so hard. I think that's your problem.
No,
Big fingers.
It's like I sneeze and it'll like open apps. It's just like. Anyways, all right. Well, we're gonna leave you with this clip today. So this is Macho Dragon Mod on Skyrim. Unfortunately, sorry PS3 guys, you're not getting this. But if you haven't seen this before, this is fucking funny as hell. So let's go ahead and play this.
Oh yeah.
As fearless in death.
So this is the start of Skyrim.
Yep.
Next, the Nord and the Rags.
Here it is again. Did you hear that?
I said next prisoner.
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.
If you think I'm not doing this in Skyrim, you're wrong.
What in oblivion is that?
Oh, Randy Savage.
What do you see?
I was so sad when he died. That man knew how to work.
Oh, best mod ever. Oh, you remember that in Skyrim when they made you look at the ground while the game loaded?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It still does that. It still does those.
Anyways, we might not be able to monetize this video now, but whatever.
Yeah, oh well. Oh, kitty.
All right. That'll be all for us. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Cell Processing. We do have, believe it or not, a Facebook page for Final Save Point. I don't know what goes on there. Joe just deals with it.
Yeah, it's mostly just posting like when we go online and stuff for streams and whatnot, and new videos.
Joe can be followed on Joe Schwarten or Lemon Merchant, I believe. Also works.
I think it still works because I see it every once in a while that someone will type in at Lemon Merchant or something and it gets to me. So I think it still works.
Okay. And let's see. You guys can follow us on Lemon Merchant at Twitch for you throw up streams every once in a while, like saying you were playing
normally,
Land.
Yeah, normally a couple times a week. With my work schedule, it's kind of off and on, but normally at least Saturday I will do it for sure.
Yeah, you guys been playing like Civ 5 and stuff, and probably Civ 6.
We will eventually, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll probably be playing a lot of Titanfall. Let's be honest. A lot of it. So.
Yeah.
And let's see, we got anything else coming up? I am recording stuff for a Titanfall review-ish kind of thing. I wouldn't say like straight up review. I don't do scores on reviews. Right. Sorry guys, I just don't believe in them. And also I'll be doing one on like Skyrim, kind of like showing off some of the technical stuff, walking through and stuff like that. And this next Friday, which I do have to say, there may be another Final Save cast. We'll see. But I cannot do it Sunday.
Okay.
It'd have to be Saturday, or you can bow out for a week and we can do it from PDX Land. Because I'll be at PDX Land next weekend.
Okay. We'll discuss how we'll do it here shortly.
Okay, yeah, but that's probably what's going to happen. And somehow I'm taking this microphone and all this shit with me. I don't know how.
Good luck.
Yeah. Alright, so guys on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to more Final Save Casts where we also, we cover both the tech and the games, the things that matter on the PC. So
yeah, we do a little bit of both.
Yeah, alright. Later, guys.